Alright, greetings Legionus, Arndelft here, and this is the 17th model showcase. Now, the first model we have here is one I believe that we have showed off before, even if it was only briefly, but he is an ancient of the Withered. The Withered were those who pursued the traitors of Legionus during the Civil War into the warp when these said traitors made an unsafe jump into a warp storm. It wasn't believed that any of them would survive, but not being able to take any chances, the Withered were sent in after them, and they returned as husks, not only in body, but in mind. And it was many years before any of them began to retain their mental faculties after their prolonged exposure within the warp. And if you know, about Legionus, you know the particulates of their unique resistance to the warp. But even extreme prolonged exposure is going to take its toll even upon their incredibly hardened minds, in spite of the resistance their bodies had. Even they had a toll taken upon them. In any case, though, I am trying to think up a paint scheme for this particular model. If anybody has any ideas, I would really appreciate it. If you are familiar with the Legionus tactics when it comes to paint schemes, their more important units always wear camouflage, and then other units are always colorful to draw attention away from more important units. This ancient, the fact that he's carrying a banner alone, just, not that he's unimportant, but the fact is he's already drawing attention to himself. So he will have a colorful scheme. If anybody has any ideas as to what kind of color scheme I could use for him, I would love to hear them down in the comment section below. Anyway, moving on. All right, our second model here is a Imperial Guard plasma gunner. Now, this particular guy is 3D printed, and he's resin, and he just came out beautifully in my opinion. A friend of mine knew that I was going through a really hard time lately and wanted to cheer me up by helping to expand my Imperial Guard army, and so he gifted me this beautiful little piece, and I have to say I absolutely love it and can't wait to paint it up. Anyway, alright, moving on. Next guy that we have up here is someone that I did not paint or assemble, but straight up purchased, pre-owned from a store that sold a lot of these models, and I needed more snipers, and they were selling these things for $5 a pop, and while that was expensive, I was like, well, he's already painted, and he's pretty well based, he looks amazing, so yeah, I think I'll go for that. And yeah, I do not regret it. I love running las cannon heavy weapon squads, or other type of heavy weapon squads with long range, and then having a specialist go in there with them, the special weapon, actually have the kind of range to be able to make use of just how far away the heavy weapon squad wants to be away from the enemy. And I honestly, the few times I have used this guy, I have absolutely loved him. And he does complement my army very, very well. Not just in looks, but in actual gameplay. Now, this next guy here. This little beauty is, well, I think I have also shown him off before. And essentially, yes, I had a bunch of Imperial Guard torsos, arms, weapons, heads, just about everything except for legs. And I wanted to make more Imperial Guardsmen. So I just got the idea, hey, what if I had a squad of Imperial Guardsmen wading through the swamp? All decked out in camouflage and all that. And that's how this came to be. And this particular guy's got his last gun strapped across his back as he's wading through the reeds in this swamp, as he's gripping a stick sticking out of the swamp and pointing at an imminent threat closing in on the squad, trying to alert them. Anyway, I absolutely love the way that he turned out, and I do plan to eventually make more in this style, irregardless of whether I have legs or not, because, well, he just looks freaking perfect to me. But in any case, that is him. Alright, my next guy here is also someone that I purchased from, well, I didn't purchase this at all from a store. I just met with somebody and purchased an entire squad of 11 dudes for a mere $10, and to me it was a huge steal. The reason why he was selling it to me is, one, he never painted them, two, they were pewter, and I guess he didn't think they were worth that much, but three, this sergeant right here, he's actually Legends. They don't allow Imperial Guard to take hand flamers anymore, which to me is a real travesty, because I think it's part of the lore of the Valhallans that they love to use flamers, so it makes sense their sergeants would be able to utilize hand flamers. And this guy, has a hand flamer. And it's not like the hand flamer isn't a thing. I mean, the Space Marine chapters do utilize them still, and the Imperial Guard once upon a time did, and I think in the lore still do. They just don't allow them to legally take them anymore unless you're agreeing to a Legends game with your opponents, which to me is a real travesty. But in any case, since these guys, camouflage for them, since they would be deployed mostly to ice and snow planets, I haven't come up with a paint scheme for him yet, since he will be in some sort of camouflage. It will be a whiter one, but I don't know of many examples of that. So if anybody has any ideas, once again, I'd love to hear them down in the comment section below. Now, this next guy is Alcandris. He is one of those that I recently showed off in another video, along with the Ragnar Black main model that I modified and I painted up in the Way of the White Road. And this guy is, obviously in camouflage, and I love the way that he turned out. I look forward to doing more in this paint scheme and seeing how well they do. Your thoughts on it would be highly appreciated. If you want more detailed shots of these particular guys in different kinds of lighting, that is something I can certainly do, because some of the criticisms that I got from the last video I had him in, the lighting wasn't ideal. And the camouflage did its job a little too well in blending them into their background and the like. I'm still working on lighting. It's one of those things that I still need to get some kind of lamp for and the like, and a better camera to be able to record these kind of things with. So that is a work in progress. But yes, any thoughts you have, drop them down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. In any case, though, what did you think? Any thoughts, ideas on paint schemes for any of these guys? I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. In any case, thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next model showcase video. Don't get into too much trouble out there, Legionists. Or do. Always up to you. Toodles all.